Do you feel like you're barely keeping your head above water? That no matter how hard you try, meaningful progress remains out of reach? Heather gets that. She battled an eating disorder for years before seeking help. Now in recovery, Heather is here to tell you that positive change is possible even when it doesn't feel that way. Join her as she shares openly about her struggles and small triumphs. Fair warning though, Heather doesn't hold back. Her candid story may trigger some. But for those wanting honesty, hope, and healing, this is 1% Better with Heather. The information and stories shared on 1% Better are based on host Heather's personal experiences with eating disorders and mental health challenges. Heather is not a licensed doctor, therapist, dietitian, or other health professional. Her advice and opinions should not be taken as professional medical advice. Please consult your physician or a qualified health provider regarding any medical or health-related issues. 1% Better also contains descriptions of eating disorders that may be triggering for some listeners. Discretion is advised.
Hey there, my little gaffers, and welcome to 1% Better with Heather. It's funny because it rhymes. Haha. Today, on this episode, I'd like to talk about body changes. Now, I'm going to be totally honest because I'm in this place right now and I probably won't be here tomorrow. So I just want to talk about it while I'm in the moment. Body changes in recovery are going to happen. No one doesn't have a body change at all. That's the point of eating disorder recovery. And depending on where you are in your eating disorder, your body may change a lot. For me, this was hard. This was like a shovel to the face because I'm 5'10" and I was the size of my pinky. I was so small. And this made my eating disorder very, very, very happy. And I had no business being the size that I was. I will say this right now. So when I started eating disorder recovery December 30th, 2022, and started feeding myself, I gained a lot of weight very, 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 very quickly. And not everyone gains weight at the same time. I know. I did. And it was horrible. I looked pregnant and I've had babies. My stomach was so extended. It wasn't funny. Actually, I had to get an ultrasound on my stomach, and the ultrasound tech asked me how many months I was. And I was like, oh, I'm not pregnant. And she looked at me with like 5 heads. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yep. And I was only 3 weeks into recovery because I was having a lot of stomach issues. So I needed an ultrasound. Did that comment hurt? Yes. Yes, it did. Because I knew I could see myself. I was bawling my face off every day. It is a hard pill to swallow. Actually, I would have given anything to be pregnant at that moment. I would rather go through labor than go through eating disorder recovery all over again. That says a lot. So, and then I got edema, which is excess swelling. So I was huge. I looked like a chipmunk going into hibernation. My face puffed out. It was hell on earth. And I thought every day, why the hell am I doing this? This is bullshit. But I kept going. Now, since then, as I said, my body has extended and gone back. I'm very lucky. Uh, Finally, all the swelling left. I did some magic potions that I do videos on that help me. I don't know if they'll help you, but hey, I'll try anything because I was miserable, let me tell you. Today, I put on a shirt that I haven't worn in over a year. And I'm very excited about this because when I was deep in my eating disorder, I would show off my body all the time, even though it would horrify people. Let's just be honest. Because they're like, oh my God, I look like my kids called me the Crypt Keeper for a reason, right? From Tales of the Crypt from the 80s. Go Google it if you don't know who that is. But when I started eating disorder recovery, I wore my husband's t-shirts and didn't want to look at my frame and didn't want to look at my body and had to cover up mirrors with towels because I would just cry all the time. Now, being a year out, things have smoothed out, I will say. I'm happy where I am. I'm very comfortable where I am. And some stuff comes with that. So, for the people who are listening, I know you can't see, but I'm going to do something that makes me super uncomfortable, super uncomfortable. But I'm going to show you my arm. Now, I have what I call a bingo wave. I have a lot of skin from gaining quickly and then losing. It's just a part of life. But this wasn't here in December. And I avoid going clothes shopping and wearing certain clothes for a long time. Today, I mustered up the chutzpah to put on a shirt that I have not worn in over a year because it shows my arms. I am very insecure about my arms. I do have body dysmorphia. I'm just going to throw that out there. I always say I would love to see myself through someone else's eyes. That'd be my one wish if the Aladdin genie showed up right now. I don't think that's going to happen. So I am trying to push myself out of a comfort zone that I've been in for a very long time. It is very important to nourish your body in eating disorder recovery. However, dealing with the mental health is my forte. So we have to constantly push ourselves all the time. And if that means me wearing a t-shirt that I love and it shows my frame, it's empowering in one aspect, it's crippling in one aspect. But my counselor told me something really cool. She told me go to the mall and people watch. People come in all shapes and sizes. Not everyone's 5'10" like me. Not everyone has a 36-inch inseam like me. I'm pretty much legs. And that was comforting. I will say that. On Thursday, I went to the mall because I need a new pair of jeans, and I've been avoiding this like the plague. I've been thinking about going to go get a new pair of jeans since before Christmas, but I didn't have the strength. And I didn't want to go by myself. And normally my husband's my person with me. I need support because I'm always scared I'm going to start crying in a store and freak out the associate because they don't need counseling. Like one of us is the crazy one and I don't want to add to someone else's life, right? But I did it on Thursday. I ran down to the mall like a crazy person and tried on these jeans and nothing bad happened. They're a different size than what I was. And I thought the size was going to flip me out and I'm cool with it. I know my size. Did I buy the jeans? No, I'm 5'10". They're like capris on me. So I have to go to American Eagle, who I love, who have tall jeans. But now I'm not scared to go into American Eagle to go get the jeans because I know the size that I am. And I don't know about you, but I know me. We make up scenarios in our head. We think everyone's going to point and laugh. We think the associates are talking about us. We think we're the butt of the joke. And it's simply not true. That's slick, our eating disorder voice, trying to bring us back. But the more that we do things that make us uncomfortable, it's exposure therapy. We need to get in front of this. We need to do it. And I talk about it a lot when I started eating again and I wanted a donut and I went to Krispy Kreme and got like the best apple fritter known to man. I stared at that stupid donut for hours because I couldn't eat it. I got it. And then the 4 blocks home, I convinced myself like I was having a panic attack. I'm not even going to lie. And I stared at it. And then eventually I read in Tabitha Farr's book, Rehabilitate, Rewire, Recover, there's the fuck it theory, which has gotten me through my recovery. All I say is fuck it all the time on loop like Rain Man. But as I'm saying it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, and I'm eating this donut and that's all that's repeated into my head, it worked. And then when I went clothes shopping, I was like, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. Nothing bad's going to happen. And yes, my body is different once again. I have excess skin on my arms. I have excess skin on my legs. I have a chest again. That flipped me out too. When I had to buy a bra, that flipped me out because I was a carpenter's dream. I was flat as a board, my friends. And when my boobs came back in recovery, I was like, what is going on? Because nothing that I had before fit. And I would be like, what is happening? I don't think my boobs were ever that big unless I was nursing a baby. Like I'm not normally like a very big chested person, but I was like, oh my God. And then my cycle came back. And I remember telling my counselor, and I was like, hey, I got my period back. And she's like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, well, this is bullshit because I'm 45 years old. I've already had kids. Yes, this is very important for the young people who want to have kids. You want your period. This is part of life. I'm old as dirt. I don't want it no more. And I already put myself through menopause because my blood work showed I was in menopause. And my doctor said to me, don't you think that this is concerning, Heather? You're only 42 at the time. And I was like, no, man, doctor, I don't. But I went through the whole stage of menopause, night sweats, like, and when I talk night sweats, it was like I jumped in a pool. My hair was soaked, my pajamas were soaked, the bed was soaked. I'd have to go have a shower, go back to bed, like change the sheets, go back to bed for it to happen again. And that would happen 4 more times in a night. It was awful. And then it all leveled out. So I was like, oh, yay, no big deal, right? No period. Yay me. To go through it again. So now I took myself out of menopause, back in almost puberty, and then now has leveled out again. I'll just tell you this. If you lose your period, for me, it comes back with vengeance. It was hell. Like I was so sick when I was a kid and I would get my period. I'd lose 4 days of school. It was like having the stomach flu. Bad things were happening in my body. We'll just put it that way, not to get too graphic or anything. And man, did that happen again. And I was like, what is going on? Already like saw this movie. I don't like it. You need to know your body's confused right now. It doesn't know where it wants to land. I don't know where your set point is. I don't know where my set point is. Nobody knows. But all you can do is keep moving forward, keep eating, and telling yourself bodies change. We don't look the same as when we did when we were 12 or 18 or 24 or before kids, after kids, whatever it is. And especially for women, that is what happens to us. That's just part of life. Your body will change and change and change and change. And in our eating disorder, all we want to do is control and control and control and control. When you hand it all over, lay down the sword, and be like, all right, whatever's going to happen, happen, it makes things so much easier. I know the belly bloat is awful. I know. But the more you rev yourself up and get more anxious about it, stress goes to your stomach. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea why. It's just a thing. So the more that you're upset about it and getting mad about it, the longer it's going to stay there. And I remember watching a video and someone saying that, and I was like, you guys are like smoking something good because I don't believe that. No, it's true. I'm here to tell you it is true. A lot of it is gas. Gas X is your friend. And it's trial and error. Just know when you start recovery, give it a year. Give it one full year. There's a lot of damage inside of you that you cannot see. It's not just outer, right? There's organs that need to be repaired. There's a whole lot of stuff that is above my pay grade to even explain. But I look at it this way. If it takes 9 months to grow a baby, it takes 1 year to get through eating disorder recovery for your weight. And then we work on mental health, which means going shopping for Heather. 1% better every day. Take care of you.
That's all for this episode of 1% Better. To continue the conversation, head over to our website at www.1percentbetter.ca, where you can access more stories and resources. We'd also love it if you subscribed and left us a review on your favorite podcast platform. And remember, friends, progress takes patience, perspective, and sometimes a little help from people who get it. So be kind to yourself and others as we work to get 1% better every day. We'll see you back here next week.